Hello model kit builders. So I've been reviewing a few of these Gundam mobility joints. They're like really small model kits. Like exceptionally small, like there's less than 20 parts. And so the feet don't come painted. They're not even solid. So I was the other ones I painted with a paintbrush, my Vallejo paints, but I'm a lazy person, so I thought, is there a better way? And I know about Gundam markers, I just don't really use them. But I found these on sale on AliExpress. Some sort of, every month they have a sale on that website. So we're gonna open these guys up and see how well they work. It says metallic color model pen. I don't know if that means it's paint or some sort of ink kind of marker thing, or if it actually has like pigments in it, like high quality paint. I don't really care about the realism of these little guys. I mean, again, hollow feet, but I guess we'll go with some gunmetal feet here. This is already painted though. I clear coated it, so we're gonna see how well it sticks to that. But these pieces are raw Gundam plastic, so we'll try both. All right, well, nib wise, it's pretty big. It's a pretty big nib. There's a ridge here, so it's a pretty positive click. That's how you know it's hopefully won't dry out if you hear that click, because no air should be getting in there. I find this annoying here. I'm not sure why they're compelled to cover the whole pen with this stuff. Wouldn't it make sense just to have a little bit of plastic, like halfway? See, I'm sure when you're making millions of these things, it probably adds up, but oh well, I'm not a pen manufacturer. Art. I'm just reading this packaging here. Artisans, cultural creativity, a whole bunch of Chinese stuff. Hobby Mio, hobby-mio.com. For plastic model kits, and I guess that's it. And so you just go off the cap color, I guess. And so that does look like metallic gunmetal. Alright. Let's see how easy it is to lay on. Let's first see how this tip is. The tip is not as soft as one would expect. It's got some structure to it. It's laying on pretty nice. Let's see. Now again, I've clear coated this thing, so I guess maybe I could leave that section raw plastic. Let's see if we can actually. I'm gonna leave this section raw plastic, come up right to that corner, and it did it pretty well. Okay, so you'll see there's a little ridge there, and I'm not trying to paint that. Maybe I'll paint it a different color. Let's try again here. Not paint that thing. Okay. Try to not paint this part as well. And the front. Ooh, this is gonna be tough. Just holding this is difficult. Right. Yeah, that doesn't help. Sorry for lost focus. I'm not doing this through the camera. Alright, well, you see what I did. Considering I've never used this before, it seemed relatively easy. It's very smooth because I clear coated this plastic, so we'll let that dry and see if I can scrape that off afterwards. Alright, so that was painted plastic. Let's switch the color around. And this is just raw plastic, raw mobility joint plastic. So I think this is from the RX-78, so I think that thing had red feet if I recall. So this is a metallic red. I got all metallics because metallics tend to lay on easier. Like they don't allow the underlying color to shine through as much as, like, say, a plain white or a plain yellow. But I guess it's because there's some sort of metallic flakes in it that block the light. Alright, obviously you don't have to take that thing off. Let's continue on. So you can actually see in the nib all those silver flakes. And there's no like charging. You don't have to like press it like a paint pen. Alright. Alright, initial impressions seem okay, but you'll notice I'm actually mixing the paint on the model. Like I laid out a little bit of silver too much. But now that I've started it, I think it seems to be okay as far as it's just flowing this red metallic now. Very fine tip there, try to get up to that edge. So, you saw me, I think that worked out okay. So the tip is really nice on this guy. Let's see if I can do this again. Hold on, let me hit focus again. Alright, so try not to paint the middle, even though the real robot probably does have red there. I'm just trying to see how good the tip is. Might want to actually wear like magnifying glasses. It's really hard to see stuff on white plastic. Alright. Yeah, I got a little too much there. So that'll be a good test to see when it dries if you can scrape it off easily. Or I don't know if there's some sort of chemical reaction. If like this somehow this paint maybe literally eats into the plastic so it doesn't scrape off so easily. We're gonna find out when that thing dries. Alright, so now over here I have a painted body shell for the SNT R27. It's a Hakosuka Skyline. It was just raw white. If you buy the metallic blue one, it comes with the extra white body. When I reviewed this RC car, it was all piecemeal, so I don't know if, I think that was just a different dealer. But I think if you get it all in one box, like the FPV goggles, the controller, and the car, mine came in one box and it had this extra body. So if you're shopping around for that stuff, that is. This should be a silver marker, or this. I guess we'll try with the light one because this car is supposed to have chrome bumpers. So let's try the chrome bumper first, and then the real challenge would be the windows. Alright. So you can see, yeah, it's already fully laden with paint. And let's get in this. I clear coated this with rattle can paint. Alright, so it kind of laid on thin, you notice there? I think you might be able to see some of the photochromic paint coming right through there, but I'm going to let it dry first, come back, and put a second coat on. Alright, so that worked okay. Maybe I'll paint that license plate area gold or something. Yeah, it's working pretty well. I haven't gotten to the edge yet, though. That's what's concerning. Let's see. So I like to hold the model with my other finger. It adds a little stability to the fingers controlling the paint marker, or whatever this pen is called. I guess I don't need to get so much there. It's on the bottom side of the bumper. But the top side, that's another story. That is quite visible, isn't it? Well, you saw me put that thing down and it didn't seem to touch the vertical front grill area. I do feel like the tip of this, though, will wear out relatively quick. It's not a very firm tip, so don't go mashing it straight on into stuff. Alright, so we're gonna let that bumper cool. I mean, not cool. Let it dry out. Let's see about this gold. Yeah, alright. I think this again may have come from a. Well, I don't know what this is from. It could be Johnny Ridden's Zaku. Ooh, that lays on really nice. But you can see, yeah, he laid on smooth, but not very thick, so I have a suspicion I have to go back. You know what, I'm going to actually paint these things and then see if I can take a cotton bud and just wipe it off. Alright, we're going to let that dry. So you see the gold there. Some blue. What could we use blue for? Maybe somewhere on this gun. Yeah, alright, why not? Looks like it might be a pretty dark blue. Let's just put it in this recessed circle area. And I did it sloppy, so I'm going to try to go back and clean that up with a Q-tip sort of thing. Alright, we'll let that get dry. Alright, we got those colors out of the way. I guess this is a lighter silver or dark silver. It's somewhere in between, right? Maybe this is considered gunmetal, and this might be considered metallic black. Yeah, that might be the case. Alright. So I think the tip of a weapon might want to have a gunmetal blade. Oh, this weapon's actually split in half. So there's a parting line there. Yeah, that worked pretty well. Okay, well, yeah, you can see that laid on pretty nice and even. This one being clear coated again, the new Gundam. Now here we have a blue color, so let's get back to this. So we have some finely raised ridges. Let's see if we can hit those with this without actually getting it on the surface, the main surface. Yeah, look at that. Not so bad. Okay, so the tip has enough density, at least when it's new, and it doesn't flow super fast, so it never got down on this area. So you saw that happen. There's a little recess there. Let's get a little blue in there. There's like a sensor or something. So now, in this case, it didn't flow very much, which I guess makes sense, right? You'd rather have it flow less so you can do little ridges like that. On these little deep sections, you're just gonna have to probably hit it twice. Let this dry a little bit, come back and add some more. Yeah, the first pass, I feel like there's some gunmetal showing through. Sloppy there, so I'm gonna come back and clean up the edges. Alright. These thrusters now. There's not much difference in these. the raw plastic is almost, I think it might be a gunmetal already. So that's a very faint difference there. I'm going to go back and put gold in the middle. So I'm going to lay some paint on top of other paint, see what happens. Alright, we probably want to let that dry a little bit. So look at this red metallic. It actually, I don't know if it's, I guess it's red, but I almost feel like it's like copper colored in a way. Right, let's go back and now, let's see if it's dry first of all. See, I'm scraping it with my fingers pretty hard. And it's not worn off. But I am scratching it. Yeah, see the edge? Let's just add some paint. So, well, sorry. Alright, that's got 2 coats on it. At least that side does. Let's put some more on the gold on that other foot. Alright, so I think it dries pretty fast. I think it's a water-based paint, so that makes sense. Yeah, and now I would say there's no red shining through there on the second pass. Alright, the last bit. Let's go back to this foot here. You can see, it seems to be, you know, with the metallic, they have the dark color, but then they have the silver color, and I think it's literally maybe mixing. So, but there's no rattle ball in here. I think it's just a sponge inside. But I feel like you're actually mixing some of the paint on the actual model, because I feel like there's a little too much, like a silver streak there. See how glossy it is, laying it on pretty thick there. I forgot to do that on this side. Yeah, I think I really have to take the foot off to finish the rest. But it seems to lay on okay over itself, that is. It's relatively easy to work with. The tip, you know, it looks huge, but it seems okay. Let's go back to the skyline here. So now, again, this is clear coated. Let's see if I can scrape this off. Well, a little is coming off of my hand. Maybe it needs longer to dry. Maybe it takes like a day to cure, like most other paints. But it's dry enough to touch, obviously, and so I can go and add the silver second coat. Is that's that. I glued this wing in place before, so I'm going to make it black again. Super thick. Alright, very good. And plates. Getting into this little area is going to be tough. Okay. So there's some areas where I had too much paint, right? So let's see. Well, that gold's still drying, but this stuff has to be dry by now. So I'm going to try to wipe this blue off the edge here. Yeah, you see it came onto the eyebrow Q-tip kind of thing, cotton bud. That was pretty easy to wipe off, almost not much force necessary. And this is raw plastic, it's not clear coated, so maybe there is no chemical reaction. It seems to come off pretty easily. So that could be considered good or bad, I guess. I'm gonna put some gold in the middle of these things. Let's see how precise we can get with this tip. So now I am holding it perpendicular. Trying to draw a circle there. Yeah, okay, seems to be okay. I'm just wondering if it's destroying the tip. I'm not pressing hard at all though. Alright, so I just did 6 thrusters perpendicular, and you see the tip there. I do feel like it might have deformed it a little bit, so if you do that kind of stuff, eventually this nib is going to go bad. Going back to this, I think I also had some overrun here. Alright, that's gone there. Okay, so it cleans up pretty easily. There's no major issues on the tip there. Alright, let's try this, these little things on these gold feet. I like these eyebrow things because there isn't much cotton, so it backs it very strongly, whereas a real ear thing would just be so soft it would take all the paint off, you know, everywhere where you don't want it to take it off. So I highly recommend buying these. Again, I buy almost everything off AliExpress, but I have no affiliation, so don't buy it there if you don't want to. I don't, you know, save money where you can. Alright, well, you can definitely see those little red studs or whatever those things would be called. And I can see the paint, the gold and the blue on this thing. So it's pretty easy to work with, it seems. You know, like most acrylic paints, if I did this by a paintbrush, it's like the same. But it's just much more convenient to use these, right? You don't have to set up a whole paint system. Whereas these, as long as you make sure the cap is on tight, I think you should be good. Yeah, I guess the one last thing you might want to see is me try to put the window here. Alright, let's do this. Let me hit focus here. Let's get in the corner. And do the bottom line. Get in the corner, bottom line. I got a little too much there on the hood, so we'll have to see if we can clean that up. This thing's clear coated again, so I'm just trying to do the outline and then I'll fill it in. You see there? I feel like there's a like streaking of silver in this black. It's not really like mixed well. See, more silver than black. So if you want it to look all even, I think you literally have to lay it on all wet like this and then like mix it around on the surface. So that's kind of an issue, at least with the black. Uh, I would assume they have non-metallics and that would not be a problem. But what this is telling me is the metallic in these is actually pigment and not some sort of a solvent, because it's literally suspended in the black paint. So that doesn't look very good, those brush strokes basically. I'm gonna have to let that dry and then do it again and just be more careful. Maybe just lay on force. Well, you know what, it's still wet, so forget it. I'll do it right now. One brush stroke, two brush strokes. That's as clean as I could get that, and that's not looking too pretty. We'll have to see how it looks like when it's fully dry. That's not so bad there. You know, it's the speed I'm going and laying this on. Okay. Now I don't even really care about overrun. I'm gonna just take the overrun off with those cotton buds. I just want the thing to lay up nicely. Which the front windshield's very suspicious. You know what, maybe I'll try to lay up the rear vertically like this. I'm not trying to grind the tip mostly. I'm trying to use the marker nib past the tip so I don't destroy the tip. Okay, well, unfortunately, I think you can see all the brush strokes. We'll have to see if it levels out. See all those brush strokes? Alright, a few coats of that black over itself, but it just doesn't lay up very smooth. I mean, I'm used to airbrushing. This is all airbrushed here. So, might not be the best as far as doing wide surfaces. You know, for small details, yeah, it's fine. But a big swatch like that. Anyways, let's see if it comes off this clear coat nicely. I put a little moisture on this Q-tip here, or this cotton bud. And yeah, it's coming off the clear coat very easily. And again, it's probably because it's an acrylic paint. Okay, so yeah, clean up is pretty easy. So you can be kind of messy with it, and just clean it up after the fact. Right? See, like that. All right, well, that is it for today. Small details, no problem. Works really nice. Very convenient that you don't have to set up a paint system. You just take the cap off and make sure you put the cap back on tight, and it should be pretty good. Obviously, I have no idea how long these are going to last, but for detail work, I don't think it'll be too big of an issue. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next hobby-related tool video.